in LA, it's very industry-esque sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And this next guest, now this is hilarious. Now, I didn't know about this guest literally until when I was driving up here. I get a text from Max. She's like, dude, we have somebody major. And Max never does this. Here's the thing. Max, usually I get a day or two notice. If I'm lucky, I get a week notice. And I get to actually research the band or research the guest. Sometimes I know who the guest is, sometimes I don't. And but here's the thing. I always like to be informed on who I have so I can ask him questions.
Right, of course.
So Max, she's like, oh, we got this guy coming on. He's amazing. And I'm like, you never talked about this. Like, you told me the guests that we were going to have on, and now you're just throwing this guy in. Like what? By the way, this is my experience.
You have to when you know. This opportunity.
Yeah.
knock.
And I get it, Max. But at the same time, you have to understand, like, my point of view.
I don't care.
Well, I know, but for the people out there,
they don't care either.
Let me know if you care. Tortoise and Hare Experience at gmail.com.
Tell Turtle you care.
Right. That's the email in which you can reach us at. And maybe you don't care about my process or me trying to know the people that we're talking with or anything like that. We just heard a song. What was the name of the song, by the way?
That was Pain of Love.
Pain of Love. And who was that by?
There's an artist named Whistle. She's based in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. She's based in Nashville, Tennessee. Max, tell us how you came to me, and who's our guest?
On today's show, we have Justin Luce.
Justin Luce.
Yeah, Justin Luce.
The one and only.
Yeah, the one and only.
Yes,
Truly the one and only. Yeah, it was an interesting experience because I'm going to start off the experience, Turtle, while you're monkeying with things. Last night, I had gone out, which I never do. As most of you know, I'm not a big partier because I work too much. And, I'm old and who needs to go out? But, so I went out and I was playing darts, and we talked about this on the show with Mikey Lopez, and there was a...
Wait, this isn't the 19-year-old I was trying to pick up on you.
Yes.
I was there for that, by the way.
Yes.
I watched it happen.
They were my savior because they came over and they're like, you want to play darts, don't you? And I was like, yes, I do.
We actually thought you were with them at first.
That's just hurtful.
Yeah, well, it is LA.
And what did you think when you saw?
I mean, I wasn't judging.
Like,
but I was
is
just
that is that her son or?
Is that her son?
Didn't even ask. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, what's happening over there in that booth? Yeah, so I met Justin and his band because for those of you who don't know, Justin plays with a lot of people. And right now you're out with Blake Shelton,
Yes.
And so
you're his guitarist right now?
Yes.
No, I play for Ray Lynn.
Okay.
And we're opening up for him.
Okay.
For direct support.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were all there last night and hanging out and playing darts. The lovely Abby, right? Mama Bear. She's so amazing.
Yep.
So we immediately had this connection, and we hung out all night. And
Till 5 a.m, from what I hear.
Actually, you don't need to say that out loud.
We do.
We sure did. we were playing guitar all night.
Yeah, we were jamming.
Very
I'm
boring,
sure.
actually.
I'm sure.
No, it was great. And so I asked them to, come on the show, and because he's not
here
in
we
town.
are.
Yeah.
He's never in
Here we are.
town. So this
We
is
literally
like,
met yesterday.
yeah, and it's an amazing thing because I know everybody in the industry, and that's how I normally get my guests. I just call somebody up and I say, hey, come and do the show. Let's talk about what you're doing.
Yeah.
This never happens, by the way.
Yeah,
and I told you this. I told you this off the. I'm like, dude, this
Yes,
never happens.
This never. I never just meet somebody and say, hey, come on my show, unless I really feel like I want to know you, and I want my audience to know you as well. So
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Cool. I'm sorry if I sounded like so like mean off the air or whatever, but I wasn't trying to be mean or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
I was just
totally fine.
Yeah.
You got to be able to like handle any kind of conversations.
Yeah.
I was just,
I
would just letting you know. It's just like this is how it is.
Yeah, I know.
Last night.
and then you're like, yeah, we just met last night. I was like, what? I was like, what? I was like, Max, you never do this. And
I don't.
Yeah.
But he's special.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why I was just like, I was like, okay, we'll do it. I mean,
Well,
like
first
this,
off,
just as well.
I just met him last night, and he's sitting in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That never happens because I don't let anybody come up
Well, that's a
here
beautiful
into my.
home.
Thank you. Yeah. We used to be in the studio, and then I got sick of the studio, and now we're here.
This worked out a lot better. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Because I would have to like all this equipment. I would have to lug every single time. Oh my God, the process! Like I know what you guys go through. I mean, do you still like lug around your equipment? No. Oh,
no, he's
you made it, my friend.
He's got people
I
for
paid
that.
my dues. I am proud to admit it. I don't touch anything.
Yeah,
you fucking made it, man. I'm still lugging stuff around, and so finally Max is like, "Okay, we're gonna do it at my place." And then I was just like, "Can I leave my stuff there?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Sold, done."
Yeah, it's the little things, man.
It's so true. It's so true. So anyway, so I'm going through that experience of like, trying to, create a show with all these extra added bonus features.
Bonus.
And Max is just like, oh, don't worry, it's gonna be fine.
And it is fine.
And it is fine. But it's just, going through that process. Like I wouldn't even know I don't even know your websites or anything.
I do.
But Max does.
That's right.
And
you can find him at justinloosmusic.com.
Does it
LOOSE?
LOOSE.
Is that on purpose? Is that a real name?
That's my real last name legally. Yeah.
That's cool. Loose. What is that, Dutch?
That is a step grandfather. That's what it was.
Okay. That's cool. Very cool. So let's talk about your experience. What experience have you been going through lately?
Professionally?
Anything could be personally.
Yeah.
That'll open up the Pandora's box to questions and things like that.
What are you feeling?
Well, I am turning 30 on the 21st.
Dirty 30.
So there's been a lot of life change mentally for sure
over
the past 6 months.
Everybody thinks that like turning 30 is this like, oh my God, I'm entering into 30 something. You're still the same person.
I started off kind of depressed, and then I realized, I actually am totally fine with this. This is actually kind of exciting.
Yeah. What do you have to be depressed about? I mean, you're on tour.
And besides, 30 is the new 20 nowadays.
Yeah,
anyway, so
exactly.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
At all. Are you going to do anything special?
I mean, I'm usually really into like birthday parties.
Okay. You're one of those.
Yeah, like so I'm from Dallas originally, and I used to always throw parties, mustache parties and costume parties.
What's a mustache party?
For me, like No Shave November, right? So I guess I don't really grow it that much.
Okay, it looks great. I mean, it looks professional. I
know
what you're talking about.
Yeah. But it was 5 years ago, so I started growing my mustache out in November.
Okay.
So by the time March came around, it was just like very long. It just looked awful. It was
like awful. A Raleigh Fingers type thing.
It was like a rat. It just reminded me of a rat, like Splinter from Ninja Turtles.
Well, Splinter was very, ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He was Zen master. I mean, what was wrong with that?
Yeah, but I did that, and that was the cost of admission is you had to have. So I had chicks showing up with like fake mustaches, or like some would have mustaches. I wouldn't say anything about it. Just let them through. They're fine. But so I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet, but.
Well, you'll be on tour. Yeah.
I'm actually so we're playing Ellen.
Oh,
Get out of here.
We're playing Ellen.
So
on my birthday we'll be.
That's cool. Are you gonna have her like
be
sing to you or like make you a cake or something like that?
Not exactly sure. I know I'm gonna get some underwear.
Okay, some underwear.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Gotta get the underwear.
Yeah,
I
so
love
we've
Ellen.
got all the TV stuff coming up this month and next month, so it's gonna be a interesting and fun experience.
Wow. Have you been on TV before, or is this like your first time?
Yesterday was actually yesterday was my first TV spot date. We did 5 songs at DirecTV.
Oh, yeah. On their what is it called, like
Yeah.
Direct Channel or something like that?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about because they do like really cool features on bands. The 101, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's called DirecTV, like the 101 or something like that. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, those are cool features.
So I've done a lot of like live recordings, and as a guitar player, it's kind of the same concept. Like every single inflection and mistake will be heard.
Well, they're not
And so there's a lot
inflections
of
or
pressure,
mistake.
yeah.
It's emotion. You call it emotion.
Yeah.
See, all
I'm
my
guessing you don't
emotion
make
is
too
being
many of
recorded.
those. I heard you play.
Yeah,
You don't.
not really, but it was my experience yesterday was I was so focused on the performance that like after I was done, I was like, well, actually, I bet I was kind of boring to watch because it was my first time, and it's I feel like music is always a growing experience, and like you have your standards, and then you find something else that you realize, oh, I should probably work on that as well, because if you're not moving up, you're moving down.
Right.
It's kind of like what I say.
Nice.
So I'm like constantly trying to like improve myself and performance-wise and executing. But yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed. I was just like, I bet I'm kind of boring. So if you tuning in and you watch the DirecTV spot, that is the first one I've done, and I realize I might be boring.
Well, but now you know what to do to not be boring.
Yeah.
You know, like do you look at it as game film, and you go back and when you watch it, you should be like, okay, now what can I do?
It's taking notes. It's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, it's like
But at the same time, I think sometimes that's too much thinking about what you're doing, because at the moment I'm not saying that's who you were at that moment, but it's your first time, so you're just like going through the motions. You're not really thinking about like the cameras and stuff like that.
right.
So the next time you're gonna, I think, overthink it and be like, okay, there's cameras. Last time I did this. When it should just be all about the feeling and the emotion that you're trying to put out
Right.
into your instrument.
Yeah, that's definitely what I took from that.
That's cool.
So yeah, that was crazy.
So you're living in Nashville now, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's the difference between like the Texas people and the Nashville people? You find it.
So it's really a really interesting subject because I was born and raised in Dallas. I moved to Nashville 2 years ago. Just did it. Never really. I moved to Houston for like 8 months, but it was humid, and I don't like humidity.
You do not well in Florida at all.
Do not.
Your
That's-
hair,
It's
I
so
could
bad.
see,
Yeah.
would just be, oh
it's
my god.
awful. I mean, we talked about Florida.
Yeah.
I do not like Florida at all. But yeah, Dallas is. I always thought Dallas was like the sweet, loving, friendly, like Southern comfort type of people, and they are to a certain extent. But there's a lot of people who are kind of think they just there's a lot of judgment, right? And when I moved to Nashville, I was like, everyone is so nice. Like, hi, my name is so and so. Nice to meet you. Let's be friends, rather than, what can you do for me?
Right.
Yeah.
And so like I instantly felt like I was at home.
That's
And
very
everyone
cool.
is like, excuse me. Everyone is like-minded in the creative sense, and everyone wants to be successful. And like you're surrounded by like all of your friends do the same things that you're doing, so you're not really. There isn't a lot of party there. It's just
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
an
lot of driven
interesting
people
place.
because
That's
it's so
cool.
small.
Yeah.
So
I lived in Springfield, Tennessee for a while.
That's cool.
Population 14.
wow.
Yeah, seriously, they bury their kin right in front of their house, and they barbecue right next to them. It's
Yeah.
like so bizarre. But I had a weird incident that happened. I went to this bar in Nashville.
Which one?
I don't even remember the name of it. But there's this
It
big,
was called Stick.
country-looking guy
Okay.
sitting at the door.
Was it on Broadway?
I think it was on Broadway. Yeah, absolutely, it was.
Was it Roberts?
I can't remember.
We'll just say it was.
Yeah, we'll just say
All
it's
right,
Roberts.
but no, this story is probably not good for their thing. So I go up to the door, and this guy is standing there, and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "In the club," and like here's my ID, and he goes, "Well, what are you?" And I said, "A girl." Is that rare in this town? And he said, "No, what are you? Because you ain't white." And I was stunned. I was like, stood back.
That's
and I
not
was
pretty
like,
normal. Yeah, that's not normal.
Wow. Man, you're kidding me right
Yeah,
now,
that's
right?
not normal.
I'm like,
You might have caught a bad egg.
holy cow. I've never been stopped because of the color of my skin going into a club before. So
Yeah.
that was like crazy for me. And I'm not even that dark.
You're not.
Jeez.
Maybe it was your hair. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's not. Wasn't my hair.
What was your hair at that time? Black?
Mm,
It's right now your hair is auburn.
yeah.
I wanna
Yeah.
say.
Well, yeah. I think it was black.
Do you tan?
No, I don't. That's me.
That's just you.
Yeah. But Arrow tans. He tans like a crazy person.
Recording a show with an animal, which is something I think has never been done on a show, I want to say.
I don't think so.
I'm not saying
Probably
it sets a precedence or anything, because no, you should not do that
Yeah.
with a dog.
Don't ever invite your dog onto your show.
Yeah, unless it has,
Yeah.
unless it's gagged or something like that. I don't know. Or muzzled.
Just
Wrong
wants
choice of words. I'm
he
sorry.
has
Muzzled.
things to say. He was just
I know.
participating in the conversation.
I know, but none of us speak dogese, so.
Well, how do you know?
Max, don't tell me you know how to speak to animals, please. Don't tell me.
She might.
Some of my biggest clients
Are animals.
are animals. Yes.
I
I do Reiki on horses and.
The
other
only
living
animal I
beings.
believe that can talk is a dolphin.
Yeah.
That's about it. And maybe if you taught a monkey sign language,
You have to talk to a dolphin like this.
that just means you
It
down.
just reminded me of an old joke.
What was the old joke?
Okay. So it's called the dolphin. It's
Something
called the dolphin.
Okay.
This is so I'm live on air, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This one goes out to my friend Steve Rocks. He's the one who told me this. It's whenever you're having intercourse with a woman and she's bent over, and then you go to stick it in her bum, and she turns around and goes.
Live on the air.
Live
I know.
on
I'm gonna regret that.
Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna be replayed on Ellen.
I know.
She's gonna be like, "So, have you dolphined anyone?" yes, Ellen, I did. And she did went, and it went
She made
as
that
perfect.
sound
Yeah,
that I just
it was
made.
crazy. It was wild,
Wild and crazy.
just like this show.
It's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. So, after you are on the road for so long,
Yeah.
do you find it hard to go home? Like when you get home, do you find it like, God, I'm like
Well,
itching to get back on the bus?
It's more on, I would say socially,
Yeah.
it's an adjustment because I'm a really big introvert,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to have my personal time by myself to just sit in my room with the lights off and just like lay there, watch TV, just not do anything.
Right.
And like being on the road, like you're constantly surrounded by people 24/7 on a bus, or like even whenever you're in a venue, like you never, like the only time that you can really have to yourself is if you like decide to walk away, or just go to a random house.
Like
You know?
today.
Yeah, it's just like it's
so
the same story. I was just like, yeah, it's my moment to like get away and like recharge, if you will. So when I get home, it's usually a difficult adjustment because like you have people that you want to see, and you want to be social.
Of course.
But at the same time, like, you don't really want to leave the house because you've been surrounded by people for weeks or months or however long people go out these days. I don't know. I'm kind of lucky though, because Blake is, because of The Voice, he's got all these commitments, and he's country music essentially. Really, they do mostly like weekend warrior type stuff. So I'm out 3 or 4 days, and then go home for a few days. But like this past few weeks, we've been on the West Coast, so we've just kind of stayed out here and done media things and had the days off and go check out really cool bars while we're here.
Yay, Blake.
Any cool bars that you'd like to plug?
Wherever we were at last night.
Residuals. Yeah,
That
love
amazing.
that place. And you should go see Nate, the bartender, or Joe Lester. Joe
It's a heavy pour.
Yeah, they pour well.
Yep. Give
They
you your
do.
money's worth.
They do. I don't
Those
really drink.
PBRs were insane. They were like literally this big.
What's
the 24 ounces?
Yeah.
What's
was
a
like-
PBR?
Pass Blue Ribbon.
That's a beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Cheap beer.
It's made in
No.
America.
That's-
Made in America.
It belongs in a dive bar.
American. American
yeah.
beer.
It's like the opposite. Like you don't go to a nice cocktail spot and order a PBR, but you don't order an old fashioned at a dive bar either.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you could.
Yeah.
You could.
The bar that I go
Yeah.
to is considered a dive bar, but hands down, they make one of the best old fashions, like, period. And really economic too. And heavy pour, heavy everything. The Cove. It's like
The Cove.
Yeah, it's like the greatest
And what
bar
town?
ever.
What town is that in?
West Covina,
What's Covina?
California.
Never heard of her.
No worries, you will. You will. If you're ever in that town, make sure to check out the Cove. It's again, like all their stuff that they do is like they muddle there, like they use fresh ingredients. But it's a dive bar. But you wouldn't expect that in a dive bar. You just expect, just like just you throw syrups and stuff like that. But they really try to craft something well made there at a great price. So. I really like, because I'm a dive bar aficionado.
Yeah.
And so I really hate when
Kind of what I prefer.
Yeah, and I just don't like, how some people, misconstrue that as like, well, it's a dive bar. It's supposed to be shitty. I'm like, no, man.
I only like dive bars.
Yeah.
I truly do. I don't like the pretentious,
Yeah, that place that I told you about I went to in Vegas, I was like, did not fit in there
Yeah, yuck.
whatsoever. The whole bottle service lifestyle is not really my thing.
Right.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
You like the bottle service?
I love
too?
the bottles. One time, okay, so I've gotten that a few times in my life. My cousin, she was having a birthday party, so she rented out. This is at the Rio, one of the places there, and at this place they have a dress code and stuff like. I mean, I know nothing of dress codes. I know nothing of a tie or anything like that. I'm just used to being me. And so we're walking in, and then they're like, "Oh, sir, you can't come in like that." And then my cousin's like, "Oh, he's a part of my party." And so you hear over like all the security guards, "Let the guys in with their hats. Let them in. They're fine. They're fine." So we walk through, right? And then my cousin has bottles of Hypno at the time. I don't know if they still make Hypnotic. But we were calling it Hip Yes. And then that was the first time I ever had Cristal. So she had bottles of Cristal being and I felt like such a rapper,
Yeah, right.
I was just like, I'm drinking Cristal, So big
I think
thing.
the thing that bothers me the most about those places is every single dude has shades on in there, and it's already hard enough to see.
Yeah. It's the cool factor. Like Turtle wears,
Yeah.
these shades all the time lately.
I have to ask:
Yeah.
is it like how can you walk without like tripping over your feet?
It's easy. I just put one foot. You know what it is too is when I drive here, usually I'm driving in the sun, and so well there were two things today, or three actually. It was okay. It was really weird because on the Facebook, it said, "Hey Ben, it's been 2 years since some occurrence, right?" And it was a show that me and you did. Who was it with? And these guys, and I can't remember. I'm really bad with names, but I was like, oh my god, maybe I'll look it up on the Facebook right now. and it was a show that me and you did. When we were at stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the name of the guys? But they were really cool guys. We had them on. I'm sure we're gonna have them on again. And they were wearing trucker hats, and so I was like, man, I saw it and I was like, man, I haven't worn a trucker hat in a while. And so I threw on this hat, because that inspired me. And they were in tank tops too.
Diamond Lane?
No. And once you see it, you're gonna be like, oh my god. And so I was like, oh yeah. And so I was like, oh man, I haven't worn that in a while. But when I'm driving over here, I came from work, and so when I work, I have these work glasses that I wear only for work. And I was like, I don't feel like wearing those. I was like, because they're from work, and they have like grease and stuff on them, and so, but I was just like, and so and when I'm driving, I'm usually hitting the sun around the time that I drive, so I leave these on. And I just feel like super cool, you know what I mean, when I have these on. So I was like, I'll just roll with it, man. Makes me feel a lot cooler, and so sometimes people need that, like they need their persona to be over personified.
And some people can just naturally pull it off, and you're one of those dudes.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, man, kissing up.
No, I'll take it. Please, tell me more.
Jeez.
Stop.
Stop it. Tell me more. Let me see. You guys, I'm going to see if I can pull up that.
I feel when I come off of tour and I come home, like, I don't know where I am anymore. Like even walking in my own house, laying in my own bed, it doesn't feel the same. I have to like readjust everything.
Yeah, sleeping schedule, you have to readjust.
No, just the feeling of being in a bed that's not moving. That
I have the exact opposite. Every time I come home, it feels like the first day in a new apartment or house.
Yeah.
Like the day you move in, you're like, it's my home.
No, I'm like, wait, where's, there's no like diesel smell. There's no strange person trying to mess with me.
Yeah.
Get away from me. Yeah. I was on the road for 3 months with 9 bands, and being the only girl on the tour was just
that's got to be
joyful.
I'm sure you had your challenges.
Yeah. Challenged every single day. But I survived. I got, 3 days off, and then I had to go film a movie in New Mexico, which kind of sucked. It was awesome to shoot in New Mexico. But
New Mexico's
the
like the
fact
new
that I didn't
spot
get
to
any-
like shoot.
I
It
did
is.
just meet you, but I will say you work harder than most people should.
Right. And Arrow agrees because he's back, and he's agreeing.
Max,
Yes.
this is
That's Future Villains.
Future Villains.
And we must have them because
Yeah.
they have a brand new single out right now called Wildflower. And they're killing it. They're so good.
So this is kind of like my Future Villains inspired
Yeah.
look, because I saw that, said, hey man, it's been like 2 years since these guys have been on. And I was just like, oh man, let me piece this together. But then I was like, gotta throw on the glasses. Although when I am making it's funny because when I'm making my appearances and stuff, like, by the way, March 25th, I will be at the LA Pop Art Riot down there in Glendale. ComplexLA.com is where you can get your tickets at, and you can meet me. That day, I probably won't have the shades on because I'll be interviewing bands and stuff like that.
No, you need to keep them on.
Yeah, I need
It's your thing now.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on.
I have these really cool
Gotta
shades.
represent.
I know I got these really cool shades that I'll wear one day, and they're like very Elvis-esque, but they just look super cool on me. They look super cool, and anytime I wear them, everyone's like, "Oh my god, are you a rock star?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I am. You need that."
I used to own Elvis's sunglasses.
Oh yeah,
I did.
which ones?
His pair
Right.
that were on his face. That was kind of bizarre. He had a big head.
Yeah,
Did
he
it
looked
really?
like.
He really did. He's very wide.
Have you ever seen the show Vinyl?
I've not.
He comes out, well, not him, but obviously somebody playing him, and he's wearing them big Elvis glasses, and I was just like, dude, those are so fucking cool. So if ever you guys are thinking about a cool gift for me or anything like that, big glasses, I'm always a fan of.
Big glasses.
Yeah,
All right.
big glasses. You had some over there from Tantric.
Oh,
that
Hugo's.
Hugo's that you were just like, oh, you can wear these.
Yeah, take those.
Yeah, take those, dude. Check them out, dude. They're fucking cool. They're right there. They're gold, right over there.
The other side of the very large bottle.
Yeah, aren't those like
These are
cool?
my kind of style.
Right? Let me see. Throw them on. Oh, dude.
Instantly look like
little rockstar glasses.
Nice. Yours.
Very cool. Do you do that though? Do you have something that you put on to make you feel like a rock star or something? Is that a weird question? Or
I wouldn't quite word it like
you know,
that.
like a cape or something?
It's a cape, yeah. That's amazing. No, I definitely think like everyone has like their own thing that they can identify with as their look. You know, me, I've worn hats since I was like 19. So I kind of always, that's kind of like my thing on stage is I always have a hat on.
What kind of hat? Like a fedora or like a mariachi hat?
Honestly, for the longest time, it was an Indiana Jones hat.
Oh, okay.
I swear I bought that thing off of the website too.
Off of the Indiana Jones website?
It literally
That's a
says
great hat,
Indiana
though.
Jones on the inside.
That's cool. Why'd you wearing it right now?
It's humid and I don't know. Yeah, no, but I've gotten so many compliments on that hat, and everyone's just like, "What is it?" And I'm like, "That's Indiana Jones."
Are they like, we named the dog Indy?
Yeah, yeah, it's not a pretentious like hat company or anything.
Yeah.
It's just Indiana Jones.
Very
So-
cool.
that's the way
So
it
yeah,
is.
I've kind of always worn those, but I don't know. I think it just depends on like the mood.
Yeah.
Max, do you have anything that you wear, whether it's on set or just, when you're out and about, that gives you a little bit more confidence?
Well, on set, I am not allowed.
Right, because you're
I'm
playing that.
portraying somebody else.
Right,
so,
I just
yeah.
figured that out right now.
Yeah.
As I said,
that
I was
was
like, wait.
yeah, fail. When I'm performing live on stage, there's I have my bracelets that I wear all the time. Mandala bracelets for prayer, and given to me by patients, and I normally have that on because that makes me feel solid and
That's great. Yeah.
protected. And yeah, I have special underwear sometimes.
Okay, that's cool.
I have my lucky socks. I forgot
Really?
to talk about that.
Let's talk about
They're cheeseburger socks.
Cheeseburger
cool.
socks.
I wear them on every special, like all the live TV stuff. You can't see it,
Right.
but underneath they're my cheeseburger socks.
Are you
Are you
wearing
wearing them?
cheeseburgers right now?
No.
Oh, so we're not special.
Nah, I just
That's
need to
what
do my
you're trying to
laundry.
do.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Damn.
You need to do his laundry, Max. That's
It's not laundry day yet. Yeah.
You cut off tour, Max. Come on.
I know.
But next time you come on, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
we're
I will
gonna
have my cheeseburgers.
deal.
That's another thing. When you're on tour, people don't understand how difficult it is, because you only have a certain amount of space and you got all this stuff. And usually wardrobe that you wear on stage, they have like, a wardrobe mistress or,
Right.
somebody who takes care of that. But everything else, you kind of have to fend for yourself.
But isn't that
and
part
you're
of
like,
your wardrobe, like your underwear and stuff?
no.
That's
It's
not considered-
They don't do your underwear. No.
That's good.
No,
I
it's
thought
just
that all
a-
that
Yeah.
was like. I thought it was like team manager. You know how like in baseball, they have a guy, an equipment manager. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh
of.
yeah.
You
know,
used to
it's
wash
the-
my chonies on tour.
No. You call them chones. You used to watch my
Chones.
chones.
Ty Fury from the guitar
Get
player from
the fuck-
Trapped would,
the
he'd say,
fuck
"Hey, you want me to wash your laundry?" I'm like, "You're gonna just have fun with my
Dip into
chonies."
my chones.
No, but he
You're
did.
gonna
He
see
washed my-
everything.
yeah. I was like, I
All
don't
my
care.
dirty little
I'm like,
secrets.
have it.
Oh.
If you want to do my laundry, yes.
You were gonna say something about laundry or something like that. It's like you were just about to say it. It looked like very.
Yeah, it already left.
No worries. It looked very incriminating. That's why I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do something
It was
incriminating.
a spin cycle.
It was a spin cycle. I do. You know what? It's weird because my days fluctuate depending on my work schedule. So I always try to do it on a Wednesday, but lately I've been doing it on a Thursday, and that's fine. But I like that my Thursday is kind of before I go into work to have nothing to do because I can catch up on like TV, and I don't watch that much TV at all. So it's like
I don't either.
My TV day is a Thursday where it's like I'm trying to finish watching whatever it is I'm watching. Like I just finished the second season of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So, so it's like on my Thursdays, I was just trying to catch up on that. Now I have nothing to watch. So I've been watching like documentaries and stuff like that. Saw this documentary. You're a horror person, right?
I almost thought that was going someplace else.
No, you're a horror. No,
I am a horror.
do you watch
person.
horror or anything like
No,
that?
I don't.
Let me see. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna talk to you about that after we play one more song.
Yeah.
And because I'm interested to hear if you know anything about this next subject on this this documentary that I watched. Okay. We'll find out what that is next. We're gonna have more with our guest, but we're gonna hear another song.
Yes.
And now let's dive more into the catalog.
You know,
of Mr. Loose.
Mr. Loose, getting loose up on here. So we were just talking about movies and what you're into, and I love Christmas movies.
I love Christmas movies too.
I love to watch Christmas movies all the time.
Even when it's not in Christmas.
All the time.
I saw this documentary on HBO. It was a horror documentary, and I'm curious to know if do you know a lot about like horror and just the scary monsters that are out there, Max?
I do.
Mr. Loose?
I do not.
You do not. Okay.
No.
I saw this documentary called "Beware of the Slender Man."
Oh, okay.
Have you heard anything about that?
I have. Yeah.
Scared the freaking crap out of me, dude. 100%. This documentary is about these two girls, and what ends up happening is they trace this the origin of this monster, this fictitious character called the Slenderman. And what the Slenderman is he's he's not really a person. He's just like this person in a suit, and he has no face. And sometimes he has what were they called? Octa things, tentacles. That's what I'm trying to find.
Octa things.
Yeah, those octa things, tentacles, and but it goes back to the origin of this this character, and these girls really believe it to be true. And this whole thing started a long time ago. This guy created the Slenderman, and then from there, the internet just kind of fed into it.
And there was a game, and there was a whole bunch of stuff.
It was
like that.
Yeah, but the crazy thing was, like the internet just made this thing explode, and the more that it exploded, the more people started buying into this. The more people started buying into this, the more they were making these videos of the Slenderman coming up. And this is the greatest part about this part was that everybody perceived the Slenderman to be something different. So you saw all these different abstract ideas and concepts of who this character was. So these two girls, it was crazy. They both found each other. They lived in like a small town out there in like Green Bay or somewhere around there, right? And I know this because like they were like the parents or something were like Green Bay Packer fans. So I was like, okay, it's somewhere like in Green Bay or like around that area in Wisconsin or somewhere. So what ends up happening is, as they read more into it, they realize that they can become, like people that are a part of the Slenderman if they kill one of their friends. So they go out and actually kill one of their friends, or they attempt to kill. What ends up happening is the girl that was their friend ends up, and this is all a true story, ends up, surviving the attack, and the other two girls get thrown in jail. And, you're seeing the video of the police interviewing these girls, and it's fascinating how much they believe this story to be true. And it got me. And the creepiest part about it was they're like, the Slenderman doesn't notice you until you start noticing him.
Right.
and that freaked me out. So for like a couple days now, like when it gets really dark, I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I recognize the Slender Man, but in my head, I know I'm
He's
like,
not there.
he's not there because I know it to be like this fictitious thing that was made up on the internet, but it haunts me. You know,
That's creepy.
I've been having a really creepy experience with this, trying to forget about it. So I've been going to the movies and watching different movies just to try to like get my head out of this.
We have to watch Christmas movies.
Yes, I must watch Christmas movies. So I was just curious if you guys have ever heard of the Slender Man.
I have.
And what's your thought process on this? Because you do a lot of horror movies, and you obviously work with, fictitious, mostly fictitious. Let me put that in quotes.
Not really.
Well,
All
I mean,
of my
but
films out right now are not.
Well, but there's some that are like, is the Wendigo? Is that real?
Well, a lot of people say that it is.
Okay.
That's a legend, so it's kind of the same thing.
Uh-huh.
It's created out of fear. One person has a thought of something and they create it, and then word spreads, and now it's, becomes something.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Slenderman. It was that same thing. Somebody created that out of something that they had experienced, and then it became true. So, like anything, I have a film out right now called House of Manson, about Charlie Manson.
Well, that's true. Like that
It
is
is. It is true, but Charlie Manson didn't become Charlie Manson overnight.
Right.
It took people, that word spreading, and the Manson family coming together because of his persona. So it was the same kind of thing. People were afraid of him and in love with him, so they wanted to be with him. Crazy.
Very crazy.
I know.
Do you know of any like horror or like ghost things
I really
like that?
don't. I don't really connect with it.
That's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't watch it.
I want to be
I
like
just
that.
film it.
Yeah, I don't connect with it, man.
What do you connect with?
Suspenseful thrillers, plot twists, like Fight Club is like one of my favorites.
One dude, all time favorite.
Yeah,
All time.
I would say like my top three is Fight Club, Dumb and Dumber, and American History X.
Those
I
are
know it's
three good
very
movies.
broad.
So
but-
Fight Club, would you fight somebody just like that? No, why not?
I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover.
No.
Wink, wink, nudge,
Nice.
nudge. But I do understand that concept of you don't really know who you are unless you do get into a fight, because you don't understand like your primalness.
Yeah, the instincts that come out.
that come out. I understand that concept, and I also like the concept of just how Tyler Durden was able to kind of cultivate a community and bring everybody together.
Yeah. Word spread.
Yeah,
Same
and-
thing.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the thought of ultimate zero, of creating no debt and doing all that. Granted, it's extremely anarchistic, but it's at the same time very salacious at the same time. We all want there to be no trace of our debts, because I mean, what is really debt? It's just saying we owe somebody X amount, but we're putting value to something that somebody else created.
Sure.
So I can understand that concept too. I read the book because I was so Chuck. What's his name? Chuck. I can't remember his name, but I read some of his books because I saw the movie and I was just like, whoa. And I he's like, you are not a snowflake. I was like, yes, we're not. I was like, I was all about it, dude. I was like, preach on, Tyler, preach on. It was very cool. Yeah, and you know what? And I really enjoyed too just Tyler Durden's style of dress. I think that's influenced me a lot, because just the way he dressed was very Goodwill-esque. You know what I mean? Like he dressed like he just picked something out of Goodwill and just pieced it together, and it just worked.
Yeah, and you do that. You
I'm very
create,
much like it.
Yeah, Turtle creates his own clothing line, and so you're inspired by that. Who inspired you to play?
Like some influences or something like that.
Oh wow. I'm mostly inspired by melodies and melodic music and things of that nature. Like I'd say guitar player is I would be an idiot to say that Jack White hasn't influenced me, especially based off the music that you're hearing today. Him a lot of the
Yeah, real quick, Jack White. Oh man, what's his? I saw this documentary that he did, and he's like there building a guitar. Have you seen this? It's like,
yeah, it
what
might
is
get
it
loud.
called? Yeah, it might get loud. You know what I always really found fascinating was how like he always put that weird microphone into his guitar and then would like do that.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what that's called just because my brain's just my brain. Have you ever thought about doing something like that? I think
Not
that was really
because
cool.
It's one of those tricks where like you see it once and you can't do it again because that's his thing.
Right. You'd want to steal somebody else's like thing.
Yeah.
You want to create
Yeah,
your own.
it's like the bow, you know,
Yeah.
or you know the double neck guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jimmy Page is the only person that can play a double neck, my
Yeah.
opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think all the influences go across the board. Like I'm hugely influenced by Michael Enzinger from Incubus, but I'm also influenced by a lot of LA guys in this town. Like Blake Mills is one of my heroes. He produced the latest John Legend,
Yeah.
Alabama Shakes record, and
Yeah.
he's from Dawes. I don't know if you're familiar with that band. Huge slide player. I'm
Okay.
really big into slide guitar.
Slide right there.
Yeah. So, yeah, but also like, those are the guitar players. But some of my favorite bands are like the National.
Okay.
Have you ever listened to the National?
They're a indie band, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're like from Ohio or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of
They're
like
very sonic melody.
Vocally is very depressing, kind of like
Yeah.
Joy Division, but
I love Joy
musically
Division.
it's there's just so many layers to
Right.
it. There's
Are they
so
like
many-
a Iron and Wine type band? No.
No.
I can't remember. I think I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you should check them out. It's a great band.
Okay.
Just overall, it's just like great band.
Very cool.
But yeah, everything from the Delta blues to the dirty rock and roll stuff.
You're a very flavorful guitar player.
Flavorful.
Uh,
You with the words.
Truly.
I just enjoyed that word.
I think
You're
I think
welcome.
it's just
You're welcome.
I think it's just from like how I'm inspired.
Yeah.
Because I can't really just gravitate to one person. It's all based off of melodies and like how
Yeah.
it really affected me in that moment, and what I'm choosing to pull from that feeling. You know, whether it's the tone, the idea, or like what I was imagining they were trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Just like my own personal take on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's funny when you play in a lot of different bands, you pick up a little bit from here, a little bit from there, and but you never really learn cover songs.
No, I don't know.
Why
So
not?
it's like the
I've
best
never played a
musicians
cover
in the
gig
world
before.
can't play cover songs because.
But I mean, there's a song
They
that
still know 'em.
you started out with, or you didn't
Yeah.
just like
I mean,
play
I know-
guitar automatically. That you had to learn somebody else's song.
Yeah, I know how to play Stairway to Heaven, of course. Everybody does.
But you're not allowed to play that song.
Yeah, it's just mostly the top 40 stuff, or
Really?
like the.
First song I learned was "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star."
Twinkle, twinkle, little
Yeah.
star.
Yeah, how I wonder what you are. Up above a cloud so high, like a diamond in the sky.
My first one was
Diamonds.
Wipeout.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
my
cool.
pop
Damn.
actually taught it to me too.
Wow, that's a pretty.
That's a
big-
fun song. That's a
pretty big
fun song.
It was a
for
blast.
your first
Yeah.
song. That's hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember my second real song that I learned was "Plush"
Okay.
by Stone Temple. I just, you know what it was? It was I just enjoyed the intro, the dun dun. It was so simple, but yet so flavorful. I don't know why. I just I think that was my second song that I learned, and then my first like chord-esque song was Radiohead "Creep" because I heard it
Yeah.
acoustic and I was like, I gotta play it like that, man.
Yeah, I love Cream.
I love that band so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a band in where are they from? They're from like Chicago area, and Marty Casey is the singer, and they do a version of Creep that's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. What the heck is their names? Well, Marty Casey. Look up Marty Casey and you'll find
Check
it.
it out.
Voila.
Yeah.
So you're going on tour. Where can people find you at? Is there a specific like thing, or like how do people, find you?
All of the tour dates for me personally are all on my website.
Okay.
JustinLoosemusic.com.
Justin.
L-
Luce.
So you'll have the
L-O-S-E.
rest of the Blake Shelton tour, and then we're going into a headlining tour right after that, and
Very
then
cool.
all of the TV stuff. And
Cool. And you're very personal, right? If someone just
Yeah.
walks up to you and says, "Hey, I heard you on the Tortoise The Hare experience. You're amazing."
oh, please come talk to me. Oh yeah, I love making friends. That's what it's about, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. And then if people ask you, how is Max and Turtle off the air, you're gonna say
Wonderful human beings.
bullshit. You're gonna be like, that fucking turtle. Let me tell you
Turtle
what.
should go back in the show.
Exactly. But that Max, I banged her like 3 times.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. 4 times.
God.
What am I saying?
Insane.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
Man,
for
thanks
putting
for
up with the
having
dog.
Yeah.
I love the dog.
That should be the name of your next album. I love the dog.
In quotations.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, Max, people want to get a hold of you, or if people want to know you, how do we do that? Signings, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, you can, on all of the devices. On Instagram, it's Onion Peeler. On Twitter, it's Matter, Matter. On Facebook, there's the fan pages and that kind of stuff. And I have to tell you this, I don't run my fan pages. So if you write to me there, it might take a minute before I can talk to you back, because they have to.
Right. Send
Yeah.
it to you. Disseminate.
Yes, they do.
Send
So
it to you.
I'm sorry if there's a lag.
No worries.
And for anybody who has bought photos recently, I will send them out. Sorry for that too. But you can come see me in person in Anaheim, California, on March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd at WonderCon. And so go to wondercon.com or Comic-Con and check out that. Please go and support my bands that are out on tour. Mystery School is out, and Absence Project is killing it. Tantric is out with Puddle of Mud and Saving Abel. Where Traders Fall are in the studio and doing good things. Colt Wilbur Band is out and playing on the East Coast. Michael Grant is out with LA Guns.
He just played recently.
He
at
did.
the,
He did last
Whiskey.
weekend. Yeah, I couldn't go.
He played like
I know.
3
My own
gigs,
band,
dude.
I can't even go
Played
see
like
them.
3
I
gigs
know.
all
You
sold
wouldn't
out. It
believe
was
how many
ridiculous.
people that I know that have never seen me.
I mean, I manage them and I can't go.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm busy.
She's busy,
I'm busy.
playing darts, picking up on
Yeah.
musicians. That's what she's busy doing. Just FYI.
Ivy Supler is in the studio. Jack and Seven are out. Ty Fury is out with Trapped, and he is the new voice of Building for the Stars.
Get the fuck
Yes,
out
I
of
know,
here!
right? Nick Mason is also out on tour and killing it on the drums. Please check out heartechnologies.com for all of your
That's right.
individual hearing needs. Not hearing as in putting in your ears, but for your hearing in production.
Yes, and thank you to Max, because I got my own set. Because, okay, a little bit off the air, Max is like, "Oh, we got this great sponsor, and they're hooking me up." I'm like, "What about me?" It's like, "Shouldn't I get something?" So after complaining to Max, she's like, "All right, I finagled you one, so I get one too." So thank you to Hear Technologies. We have banners on the website. Go ahead and click on that to find out more information. And very thank you to them. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm going to do something with it.
No, it's fantastic for mixing. It's individual mixing devices.
Can't wait to play with it.
Yeah, they're badass.
Yeah.
And for a front of house person and engineer, it's heaven. It's heaven. You can actually walk away for a minute and not, get murdered.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Also, okay.
Real fast, please
Max
go
always has like
and
1,000
I know,
plugs, dude.
I'm sorry. It's what I do.
What the fuck?
That's what I do. Go and see my movies, because they're all out. Death House is coming out. House of Manson is out on everything and everywhere. what are my other movies right now? Hell's Kitty and
And future
Smoke-Filled
movies.
Lungs. Future movies. I have some great future movies.
That cannot be talked about because they're future.
I am so excited about this movie that I'm
We
going
have
to tell
contracts.
you
Yes,
about
fucking
in the
contracts,
next
dude.
couple of weeks.
In Hollywood.
For
I have something
Lionsgate.
great to tell you, but I can't.
know.
Oh,
I'm so
LA.
excited.
Right.
Yeah. So one
know,
for
man.
Sony and one for Lionsgate. I can't wait to share those with you. So
That'll be cool.
you know, stay tuned for that. And of course we want to thank Danny for helping out today.
Danny was the bartender today. She was
Danny
getting
bartended
everybody all
today.
messed up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you to
Except for me. I was like, I've actually been
You've been
sober.
drinking,
I've been-
you've been drinking beer.
I've been,
I've been
yeah, but
watching you
I've
drink
been
beer.
like guzzling it like I usually
Yeah.
do. So
Yeah.
I've
He
been-
usually just like pounds the wine. And
Yeah, there was no
I
wine.
don't
That's
drink.
why.
I know, because
That's a
we
smart
got a
move.
different kind of request.
Smart move,
It's
Max.
my day off.